Municipal Complex Building Committee meeting called to order on Tuesday, February 3rd at 6:07 PM. Okay. Did, I know in December when we were gonna meet, we were gonna approve the minutes that I had linked to everybody. Did anyone get a chance to read through those?
Just read through.
You did, Mike? Anyone
read 'em.
else? Yeah?
Yep.
Did enough people look at it to take a,
I mean, I very briefly looked at them.
Okay.
Once you sent an email.
Motion approved as written.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, awesome. Hey, we actually approved our first set of meeting
We're done.
minutes.
We should get to the clerk's office.
All right.
My job here is done.
We have a new charge now that's been finalized. It is on the website. I know, Seth, you mentioned you had a couple of, were you still concerned about that? Just making sure that our,
No.
I believe it's on the website the way we had initially
Perfect. Okay, before that.
put it. And welcome to Mel, who is going to be our new municipal member. Happy to have you. Happy to have another female amongst all
Thank
these
you.
men. And I guess,
Go ahead.
Hi, Heather.
We gave you
and
all the action items, Heather.
Oh, great. That's how it works, right? Last to show up, person who gets all the work.
Yep.
we do want to make sure we get some meeting minutes from this.
Current feet.
We actually can't do it that way.
We were doing it that way before.
But I don't
I
think
haven't
we're
taken
supposed to be
minutes in a
doing it
long
that
time.
way.
Well, I mean, if someone reads through them and makes sure they're, you're talking about like transcription?
Yeah.
Yes, but they have to be transcribed, and they weren't being transcribed, I don't believe. So I think that's the only thing we're missing. We're videotaping them, but they have to be transcribed still.
They're supposed to be physically.
Right.
All right.
For some reason, I can't access it either, which is weird because I made this
Okay.
invite.
All right, that's all right.
Let's see. We'll definitely have to figure that out.
No, I left because of Chris. I'll just watch his phone.
Drawer is coming. He's running late too because of that traffic on Route 2, so, I guess we kinda wonder, all right, do we have any updates on any financials at all? Were you able to get, other than what you gave me, anything else?
No, what I shared with you was the balance that we currently have in the town's general ledger. So we have an auditor, a CPA, that was hired by the select board that is going through and reconciling the town's accounts. We've submitting our state forms, and you should shortly have an idea of where we stand. But it appears as though there's 160,000, as I shared with you, in funds. Some of those funds, I think, had been appropriated prior town meetings. I went back and I looked at a couple of warrants.
Does that
We had
sound
the-
like a lot, or does that sound right?
Well, I'm trying to think, I'm trying not to mix towns in my head, so
Okay.
I don't want to, I'm like, wait, no, hold on. No, I think that could be right. I think the biggest thing, though, is that, even with Sean's reconciliation, that we have to just make sure with Drawer and everything that all of his invoices have been caught up on. Because even though it reflects we've spent X dollars, we want to make sure there's not any outstanding invoices that we haven't caught up on, because that will impact our balance.
He did say he was sending an invoice this week.
For
There should be
which
an
period
invoice.
of time?
He didn't state
Oh.
yet, but Lee Moore, the gentleman who does that, is supposed to be coming tonight as well.
Oh, okay.
So,
He should be able to tell you then.
I would hope,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hope.
And is that the only thing we've been pulling from that account, just Drawers invoices?
That was my question, because I wasn't sure if part of that was like operations of the building, or, okay.
No, operations should be.
Separate.
Yeah.
Okay.
We originally weren't coming out of revolving this year, and then I think we fixed it, and things started coming out of the revolving.
Okay. And so I tried to look back, does anybody remember the original amount that we were working with, the contract?
Was that for the siding and roof and all that stuff too?
That would have been, no.
That's different.
The drawers is different than that
That was
part of
covered,
it.
that was hard.
Yes,
Right.
that was
No, I
separate.
remember we
Yeah.
He
had
had
the
money
purchase
for-
of the
Yeah.
building,
Yeah. So that,
weather tight. And then funds
I think we can provide the committee with an update once we get things reconciled. I did see that there was, I pulled the chart of accounts, which is all of the town's accounts, and I looked, and it looked as though there was a $125,000 approval for the revolving account for 2 years in a row. I don't know if we were able to appropriate $125,000, but that's, that was, I was assuming that that's what was utilized to supplement this account. And you were drawing down against it, and you had a balance.
Right.
Right, yeah.
So I guess we need to also talk with George tonight about what still needs to be done. I don't know if you still have some changes or things you want to discuss with him tonight, and then where that would put us. Dora was not willing to give me, obviously, oh, here's what this is gonna cost eventually down the road. He said he just has been in those positions before, and he just doesn't want to quote
That makes
anything.
sense.
So, he's kind of in a position where this is like the one step at a time.
all we can be certain is the longer the road, the higher the price will be.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It looks like on the town's website, on the outline for the project timeline, it had about 130,000 for the RFQ for design services.
Okay,
Yeah, didn't think he came in over 200.
yes.
I'm looking.
So in the RFQ, have you gone out for the RFQ and hired Dora? You went out
Yes,
for a process?
yes.
And so in the scope of that work, does anybody recall if you had itemized any money for a cost estimator? Construction cost estimator. Typically, that's, when you get a project.
Yeah, I don't
that's part of
believe,
this.
no.
That's part of it.
Yes? Oh, right, the engineer, yes, it was all in that, yes,
Yeah.
Dora's
Yeah.
So
proposal.
at some point, you're gonna have to, you get your wonderful ideas, they're gonna move around a little bit, but you're gonna have to, 30%, 40%, whatever, folks feel comfortable, you're gonna have to get to a construction cost estimate to try to go and seek an appropriation. Where on that construction or the design process are we?
Yes, yeah.
Are we 10%, 20%, 30%?
On the
I mean,
design,
we're
I don't know what
almost-
percentage.
We are almost at completion of this at this point. I mean, Dora was thinking this last, what he sent was it. He was just waiting for everybody's approval.
With what he had sent for PD, it's done.
It's done.
I don't see anything else that needs to be changed. Everything looks fine. I've given it to the sergeants to look at. Nobody has anything else that we feel like we're missing or should be changed.
Okay. How about on your end?
Major changes.
Really?
No, this is some minor things, just like position apparatus in the bays, just so that he's aware, like the ambulances are on the far side, they should be moved over. And with some of the bay sizing, I just want to make sure he's aware of that. The locker rooms for the gear lockers, the way it's presented, I don't know the dimensions. So I sent him the dimensions of the gear racks, because it doesn't look like it's big enough. So that's not a big deal, because there's plenty of room out in that bay, I would assume. It seems like there's way too many bathrooms for this station, on the apparatus floor, inside the station. So just cutting that back, so that's not a big deal. Closet space for storage for medical supplies, just adding another room, clarifying that the break room is not just a break room, it's a full kitchen. It needs to be oven,
Okay,
refrigerator, all that. Day room would need the lockers. And then training room having a closet space for training supplies. So just, there's nothing major there that I would think would change the overall design at all. If anything, it frees up some space and cuts a few of those bathrooms out of there.
right.
Can I ask some questions that someone probably already answered, and there's probably a really good reason to have it the way it is? So, it feels like from looking at this, and this is probably just because of the way it is, but is that the normal amount of bays for the fire department, or is that more bays than normal?
Most fire stations are double deep,
Okay,
that's why.
so that's why, okay. So it is just how it's displayed, and that's
You park
why.
2 trucks back to back.
Okay, so that's why it looks bigger to me than what I'm used to seeing. All right, and then the assembly room for the police, and then what appears to be a similar variation of the fire department over to the right, is that supposed to be the same purpose, but just for the fire department?
Which means,
Oh, right here, sorry, it's not labeled,
yeah,
so,
you're looking at this.
So that is
That's town.
general
That's
assembly room.
Oh,
So
okay.
town office,
Should be
whatever,
like this
select board.
okay, then what's this,
That's the training room.
for fire and police, or just fire?
There's one for fire, I don't
Battle it out.
remember looking at your plan.
Make a reservation.
Right.
Well, I just want, because in some of the fire police combos we've seen, it's usually a shared access space. That way you can use it either way. Okay. Those are my questions. Thank you for patience in my getting my
No,
answers.
no. Mal, did you?
Well, I have a lot of questions.
Go
but,
for it.
So the last time I looked at any of these plans, and I apologize for not being totally prepared, was the plans that were presented before Taste of Hubbardston. So I haven't had a chance to pour over these, but the top floor is supposed to be like fire, like rooms and stuff like that. The town offices will be on the first floor.
That's what it, yes.
I guess my main question is about what archive means. Is that like the vault, or is that just like storage, like files?
So I think, and I don't want to speak for Drawer, but I know we've asked these questions before because there's little places that are labeled. There were places that it was like, okay, we'll put the archive there. We'll put so whatever that detail is has not been fully
Okay.
determined yet.
Because that was some, like, when we met, when I talked to him one time, he said you can put the vault anywhere, but that doesn't really answer my question, but, so anyway, yeah, I'm just taking a look, sorry.
So I guess when he's here and you asking him that question, Mel, I would probably, if it's not a good spot and that's where you just said it,
And the different
the vault would go, right? Then I would,
and then the different Department A, Department B, Department C are just like tax collector, those.
yeah, none of that's been
Okay.
fully determined yet.
Gotcha.
And do we even have enough, there's more departments upstairs?
Right, so some of the departments upstairs would be town office. Only the right, I believe only the right side of the upstairs would be utilized
okay.
by the
Fire
fire
department,
department.
yeah.
But
And
you'd
I-
also want to probably put in some kind of a locked door between people that have access to that and the fire department side.
Instead of a common
Second
hallway.
floor.
Right, and there isn't
Yeah.
one there now, there isn't really one there now. So I think that's something that should be added.
So here's a question, and I'm sure we've already answered this question, but my recollection is totally faded. Did we look at the consideration of just keeping all the town offices downstairs and putting, barracks and everything else for private space for police and fire upstairs instead, so it's a much more secure area and the two are separated? Did we discuss that and rule that out, or?
I don't remember
Does anyone-
specifically
does anyone
ever.
remember?
I don't specifically remember discussing that, Heather. I don't know about you guys. I don't specifically remember that.
I think we talked about it 6, 9
Maybe early
months ago.
on, but I'm not sure why the final decision was made to do it this way.
Okay, because I'm just thinking that, you know, if you can keep the town hall segment downstairs, and then you can have just the private spaces for police and fire upstairs, it will naturally separate the two, so you don't have to worry as much about the security entrances for those two people, and the downstairs can be more of the public area of the building, and the upstairs can be, you know, code card only, so to speak.
I know there was discussion about how it was going to be done because the break room, evidence room, lockers, and like the cells, all of that was going to be town office space. However, he reworked it to do it that way because of what we needed for the cells.
But what about like, so I'm sorry, not all these rooms are labeled. So purple conference room in the center left, to the left of that's a round table in blue. I'm assuming that's police conference table space. Sorry,
That's
I'm
the-
stealing yours.
So that's the break room.
So that's your break
That would
room?
be the police break room.
Could that be upstairs? I mean,
It could be anywhere.
I'm just thinking that if there was a way to put, you know, kind of push some of this stuff so that,
I just think from a standpoint of them having to go upstairs, downstairs, depending on what's going on, it makes more sense to have it all connected, but I'm not saying that it can't be done.
I'm just thinking, you know, you could also, I know this is something we haven't traditionally done in other communities, but we've also don't usually have municipal complexes. What about the concept of having one break room with a full kitchen for all municipal employees, so it's not a segregated thing, and more of it, it's a, I'm getting a nod back here.
You'd be lucky to get me to sign off on sharing it with the police. This is the thing about the kitchen table at a fire station. Very nice. I don't really want to get into it now, but
Let's just put it out there, right?
it's a
Let's
hub
just
of,
put it out there.
it's a hub of everything.
Right.
Everything comes together.
Okay.
But
I don't-
have you looked at municipal, have you gone and visited a place? And so you've seen how a newer municipal complex is integrated general government, public safety, and it is a pretty delineated space. I mean, it's like you've got your police station, your fire station, and your general government. Those efficiencies, can be integrated. Usually it's in training space and like meeting space. But there are times where, all three are going to be busy and you're going to have the ability to operate independently. Where is the closest match of what you're looking to achieve if you had a...
I think we're such a unique structured building that there's not really, if we were building from scratch, I think we could come up with a couple answers for you based on what we reviewed. But because we're not, and we're kind of saying, okay, here's our footprint. Now how do we, and that's the thing.
Could there be a common kitchen and more than one break room? Making space upstairs be a break room for the fire department or downstairs or wherever.
Well, it sounds like the chief says, as far as a full kitchen for the fire and full kitchen table and the fire exclusive, because they operate differently, that seems to be a very important element for the fire department.
And also too, you want that, everything, the majority of the operation, you want your staff closest to those bays. It's one thing, I wouldn't have the bunk room on the second floor, but it just looks like he's run out of space.
Right.
Guys think it's cool because there's gonna be a pole maybe, or a slide.
Is that what isn't that what that circle is?
Yeah, ideally, I would have it on the first floor,
Yeah.
again, closest to.
How many
to the,
injury on duties?
the bays.
Yeah, you don't want to add any additional
Yeah.
response time.
Yeah.
Several. I mean, it's the same thing for like, your break room and things like that for the police department. If they have a prisoner in the cell,
They don't
need
want to be upstairs.
they're not able, so then they can't take a break that day,
Right.
you know?
So what about the office spaces? Do all of the office spaces for the officers have to be on the first floor? I mean, you're gonna have, yeah, an officer's gonna get called to the front because Susie's here and they want someone to come talk to them, but is it that much for them to come up from down upstairs? I'm just trying to think, what absolutely has to be on the first floor, operational for the fire to go hop out, a, break room for your folks to be able to hop on a call or to be able to be close enough to someone in the holding cell.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it just makes sense for, they're writing their reports and they're doing all that stuff, that it's all in this area. Like, we have the 2 sergeants right outside the patrol area. They're easily accessible to patrol guys. I mean, you can move my office upstairs, but then I'm like, then I'm just separate from
We'll get you your
the whole
bulb.
department. Well, I guess, all right, well then, yes, sure.
But then if you're on the second floor, somebody rings the bell, now you're coming.
Right, now I have to go all the way down.
Yeah.
That happens now.
When they're out on patrol.
People ring the bell at the police station, they think that a person just magically appears, like, here's your
don't?
3 wishes. Like, I walk from my office to the door now, and they're already in their car. They're like, well, I rang the bell, it's like, well, I don't just magically appear at the door when you ring the bell. I have to walk from that side of the building all the way to that side of the building. So, I could see that being an issue if I was upstairs, or even if my patrol officer was upstairs. By the time they get down those stairs to that, someone's gonna be.
Those stairs,
Okay,
definitely.
so now the assembly room, is that the room that's made for public access?
That's supposed to be a public meeting room.
Okay,
correct.
so why do we have that all the way through the building and not on the outskirts of the building so it's easy access for the public to get
Because
into?
you gotta accommodate all the bathrooms.
I can accommodate on the bathrooms.
It does seem to be, I don't know if there's some sort of formula, and that's why, but even there, it seems to be a lot of
There's
bathrooms.
5 bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, but why does the bathrooms have to be there? Why can't you take that assembly room, assuming you just got the outside walls, right? Turn it, face it the other direction and stick it where right now your meeting table is and the conference room 200 square feet is. And then turn the direction, have access. So a lot of communities, whether it's a library, whatever, they have access to those rooms externally, and then they have bathrooms like
Right off
in
of
that area. So why, I mean, I guess that would be my question, why not link those? And while I'm on my little rampage here, or rant, whichever you want to call it. So if it doesn't make a lot of sense to put all the town offices on the first floor, then what about putting all the town offices on the second floor?
So I'm
So
gonna
that-
ask, you had some good comments to me the other day about what,
Yeah, I think there's a
ADA
workflow
issues.
that each department or each function really needs to think about. And I'm assuming DOR has done this. Chief, your instincts are like, if you're separated from your department, you're separated.
Right.
And even just a little bit of space can really have a lot to do with the dynamic in the workforce. Like for a town administrator to be in a different building from the town accountant or the town treasurer or the small finance team, that's a huge limitation. I think, just given the small workforce, you're gonna need to have a building that can support the kind of collaboration and the synergies that really, can come about if you really have the space needs attuned with the facility and the design. I haven't had enough chance to kind of get in here. I can tell you, just as an interim over 3 weeks, being on the second floor, having at least 10 senior citizens climb up and down the stairs and having, to walk them down the other side to get a dog license, to pay a tax bill. It's not ideal. I think we've got to think about this, from a civic standpoint. People are going to come to the building and they're going to want to have an easy access to, address some of their needs. It does seem odd to me to have the auditorium or the meeting room in the back. I feel like, there should be something that grabs you when you look at the facility and you think, this is a municipal complex. It's not, right now it looks, it's like police station, fire station, and, maybe, there's something, that I think can evolve here. That said, I haven't spent enough time around it. Operationally, you'd like to think that you could have a shared training hall. I mean, it's a tight footprint, so maybe there are some multi-purpose functions. The bathroom thing is that seems to be an issue, and that does encumber quite a bit of space. Having a bigger room, I think that you could future-proof this by having it just be a little bit bigger when you kind of think about the purposes of a big room. If you had a room that you could put all the town employees in for a training, or you could have 100 people in that room for a big community event or training.
So, following Sean's thought here, so with the idea of keeping all the town offices together and theoretically on the same floor, right? It's easier for residents to access everything. It's easier for the TA to coordinate with all the departments. It makes more of a team environment. What if everything goes back to the concept, because there's an elevator there that's built in. As soon as you see those stairs, the next thing is the elevator. What if at that point, all of the town offices is upstairs, that conference room could move to the right-hand corner where the Department A through C is, right? You'd still have to figure out, where you're gonna put a bathroom, but heck, you could link a bathroom right to the conference room, just move it a little, cut out some of that hall and just move the hall to the other side or whatever you need to do. And then upstairs, that would move, Chief, your bunk beds down to the first floor. The guys would be devastated without their pole, but,
Your liability policy.
we can get them.
Yeah.
We can get them a cardboard slide if that will, help with that need.
Just
But
improve your injury on duty.
That elevator is not for the public, though.
Right.
this
And that's not-
this
that's not in the-
elevator, but the new one that would be built would have to be for the
Well, that was my
public,
next
Jeff.
question.
It has to be. You have
We're
public
putting in
access
an
on the
elevator
second
in the
floor.
We
building.
have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
You gotta
And
take
whether
everything and
anybody's
put it upstairs, and you've got seniors,
Yes.
it's gotta be a
But
public
you-
elevator, but the one we have now is.
Even if it's not for public use,
It needs an
we need an
elevator.
ADA compliant elevator in case we hire someone for a position that would be put upstairs.
This also theoretically.
But that's part of the
I-
plan, isn't
I
it?
think
Okay.
this could also have some energy efficiencies to it too, right? Because town hall, in the concept of if it were all upstairs, is not open 24/7. It's open, Monday through Thursday, most days, 8 to 4, which means when it's not open, the second floor essentially is dark. You're not running energy or electricity up there, and then everything else is concentrated to the first floor unless you guys are using a storage space, which I think theoretically speaking, the storage future expansion, you could probably move down to that first floor right there. And if you, I was gonna say if you really wanted, but I don't think there's enough space, you could try to squeeze in that assembly room upstairs, but I don't know if there's enough space for that. I think you'd still have to stick that downstairs. I'm just trying to think what makes sense, operationally and everything else. And also right now, unless I'm missing it, I don't see any bathrooms on the second floor unless I can't find them.
They're over in the corner. They're over like where the bathrooms are kind of now.
Is that where it's
So they're
storage?
The
By the
yes.
stairway, right?
Yes, by the stair. Yeah, and then there's a little meeting room off there. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's supposed to be a 12, okay, I see.
There are a couple of things that I do remember from a couple of our past meetings in regards to some of the reasons that some of this was happening. And Dror was trying to keep our costs down so we're not knocking out a bunch of walls and whatnot. And so the middle is the footprint of the way that is. So where those bathrooms are, that's that footprint. So
Those
that
are
was the
currently
most.
bathrooms there.
No, but there's water, so we wouldn't have to be making a
Yeah, you got
whole
your
new.
Plumbing.
Yeah, so there was a few things. Now, whether that cost is minimal or astronomical to move those things, I think Dror was doing what we asked him to do, right? Trying to not make this so expensive that.
For me, the middle of the building, is such a strategic area, and you want to have that feel, if that's the civic room, if that's the big, multi-purpose room, I would think moving a few bathrooms to the side or, putting those around, running pipe shouldn't be that cost prohibitive. Getting the flow of this building correct the first time, most important, and you've got, there's some pretty good space in the middle there. Where's the exercise room? Where's the weight room?
He just threw that in there as part of, on the fire, the day room, gym. Gyms don't usually pass.
What do you
So-
say, day room, gym,
I don't-
chief?
Fire department, yeah.
Yeah.
So he just threw that in there. That wasn't even my thing, but I think he was like
Understood.
a dual use
Yes.
space.
All right, I don't
would
care
make
what we
more
call
sense
it,
to
but that's something that I think
not
you could
sure.
share between public safety departments, and, things that, where you can find
Yeah, I'm not sure.
things that are,
Seth, what is
But like
help-
that set up there with the way it is now, you're not gonna want a couple of sweaty cops working out while the guys are working on their EMS reports in the day room, kind of thing, so.
Yes.
yeah.
That was, I think it's just,
think we all need
that
to-
was an afterthought by him putting that in there.
Okay.
I don't even know if that'll actually happen.
I hear that they can be really helpful to
I think
the
it would be,
workforce.
I think it'd be a great thing.
Yeah.
And I
So-
still don't understand why they're opposed.
I have a quick question. Which one are we on?
They're both the same.
One's just color
One's
coded,
colored,
I think,
one's
and one-
black and white, yeah.
One's colored, I think,
For use, by use.
All right.
Yeah, I think at some point, either a gym or some workout area is gonna be
Yeah.
necessary for police only because they're working on fitness standards right now.
That's right.
No,
So it's gonna be a state mandated thing, fitness standards. We're going to have to be able to allow our officers to work out. We're gonna have to give them the ability to do so. So not having that anywhere in here, I mean, that is the only thing that is
And then the
probably
other
a
thing
little
too,
short-sighted, but
Heather had mentioned the training rooms. I think the training room, once again, I don't know what the dimensions are. I think it's smaller than the room we have now. But that was a space where we agreed, police and fire, we would share a training room.
Right.
The red square with the chairs, or this,
Yes.
whatever that's supposed to
That we were willing to share that, a gym, some of those things we were willing to share. He split it because I think it's just, he's running out of space.
Right.
Where you put a bigger training room in there,
Oh,
well, I could put two smaller ones, police and fire, and that's why he did
But
that.
like for me, I mean, you've got this assembly room.
Yeah.
I
And then-
don't know if you've seen this space during the day, but mostly, it's empty. And
Right.
and for me, it's like use your space and be old Yankees. Say, look, we've got this great, training assembly room, and you're going to use it during the
Hi,
day,
George.
and you can take
how are you?
efficiency with that, and then
Come on in. Yeah.
maybe make the other areas that much better. That's it.
my vision was always thinking that we would have one room like that for the town to use for meetings and whatever.
Yeah.
It would also be used for trainings for us. It would also be used for trainings for
Sure.
them.
Do you wanna-
just
you guys
schedule
wanna
it the
pull up
way
a
you
seat
need
here?
to.
I was just thinking, yeah,
Yeah, you want to grab
That
a
was
chair?
what I always thought it was gonna be when I was thinking.
I thought there'd be a shared room with us.
Yeah.
Then there'd be another one. Maybe that's something where it could be cut off and then you open the door, and you have a giant room when you need it.
Right.
But
Yep.
like,
Do you want
I don't
your
think there should
addition
be
to join us?
fire and police
Do you want to speak?
competing with the other outside town for that space, because we have regular trainings and
Regular annual
meetings.
training.
And we shouldn't be working around, department meetings are last Monday of the month, or since I've been on the fire department. They're, the drills Monday night. And other trainings that we have to have in place, we shouldn't have to compete with other people. So there's somewhere you could have like your big room, but then have a smaller room off of it where it could open up and make that a conference room even bigger. But for the most of the time, it's police and fire, because I think we could definitely work with each other.
Right.
And then if other people needed it after the fact, but we should have primary space for that, for our training.
So it just opens up a great conversation, because I do think this multi-purpose, assembly room, the bigger it is, the more flexible it is,
Yep.
and the more central it is. I think the more utility everybody's going to get from it. In terms of scheduling the first Monday of every Thursday, that'll all sort itself out. There'll be different boards, there'll be different, everybody's going to have to work together, and I'm sure that can happen. In terms of your space, though, you've got a pretty large training space embedded in your space. And I'm just kind of thinking, do you need that?
Well, like I said, I don't remember, I think we compared it, but the space that we currently have over there, the space that's represented there is smaller.
Yeah.
That's pretty tight over there for us. Especially if we invite one or two towns to join us.
Look at the huge
Yeah, this is
space
what
here.
everybody's been waiting for.
It actually looks bigger now, look.
So
My office
this
is bigger on that.
assembly is going to be a multimedia center. It's going to have technology. It's going to have it's probably going to be, your 21st century training and meeting space, right?
Where's our EOC gonna be? Is it gonna be in the shared fire, the red conference area, or is it gonna be the assembly room that's gonna be the EOC?
That's a great question.
What's an EOC?
Yep.
Emergency Operations Center for emergency management.
I think
So,
there's
you want it
that
to
front
be-
office being set up to have some sort of capability like that.
Well, I think
was
you
talked
want,
about, but
I mean, a lot of the communities, right, they'll either use the assembly rooms themselves and set them up so they're also the EOC, but the problem with that, right, is if the EOC's open, everything else is off.
Closed, right.
Or alternatively, if that red square space with the white seats in it for the fire is the fire police place, that also makes a good sense to have it as the EOC, because you can also have it well equipped. You get funding for it from some of the emergency management funding grants, and you make that the EOC, and it keeps the assembly room separate. So if you need a warming station, if you had to, you can use the assembly room and it's not impacting your EOC operations. So, just a thought. So we rearranged the whole thing. No.
To play with.
We've talked about quite a few things and some questions.
Okay.
I think one of the centralized themes we had tonight was, in the current drawings, we have part of town hall on the first floor and part of town hall on the second floor. Because we're such a small community and we have a small staff, especially the core staff for town hall, it's imperative that everyone is essentially together, and it would be better if we could do that all on the same floor. We originally talked about, what about putting them all on the first floor, but then the concern is, fire needs to be closer to their bays, police needs to make sure they're near their cells and so forth, so we could kick them out, but, they might get mad at that. So we talked about the potential of maybe seeing if there was a way, especially because we have the stairs and the elevator right at the entrance, of structuring upstairs so it essentially
So put
inhabits
everybody
all of
upstairs.
town hall. And then the next question we had was, so the assembly room is a decent size, but it takes quite a while to get from the entrance of the building to in. A lot of towns will actually have their assembly room, that's public access, accessible from an exterior door, so they don't have to
originally we
trek
had
through.
it here.
Yes, we did. So, again, sorry for cutting you off, and I'll let you continue. but
No worries.
The issue of moving it was that it's a big building, but there's not a lot of windows. So, since we wanted to give windows to the private suites, the private offices, that was the kind of the give and take that we decided. Take this line of windows and give it to the offices. We can redecide that decision, and if everything goes up to the second floor, I think there's quite a lot of extra space there. if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So we would put the bunks for the fire down on the first floor, because we would make space now
Yep.
in moving that, as well as the assembly room around. And then upstairs would be just essentially town hall offices.
And so a space like that should be enough for units.
Yes,
Yes.
and then the only thing would be is we would want, it looks like there's a conference room there that could probably double as like the break room, or there's enough space up there, there's not
There's a
that many
break room too,
offices.
so.
Okay.
So
And then the
in this-
bathrooms don't even have to be reconfigured because they already exist.
Right, I think.
They just
I
have to
would-
have functional
I think I
plumbing.
just added one because we're gonna need for occupancy loads. We're gonna probably need more, especially if the assembly room goes up here. That would definitely not be enough, even those three.
Would the assembly room fit
Yeah.
up there? I don't think the
No,
assembly
I'd keep
room
the
would
assembly room
fit.
downstairs.
We are keeping the assembly room downstairs,
Yeah.
okay.
I think we would just move all of the town offices upstairs.
It's
And I think,
easier access downstairs.
and I think
Sure.
there's a lot of flexibility. My thought, and Sean and Mel can definitely correct me on this one if I'm going on a limb here. I think there's a lot of flexibility to how those offices are structured. Right now, there's a lot of sharing that's going on. You know, right now, town clerk, assessor, building, and land use are all literally in like a 4x4 kind of cubby thing. And I'm sure they would like a little bit more independent space, but I don't know if every single office would need like the double and the triple backs, right? They could probably be a wider front area access where, you know, maybe they're next to each other and they have their private room, because it would be easier for people to talk to folks if they didn't have to talk over 3 other people on the phone at the same time. But I don't know if it needs to be that, you see what I'm saying? So
No,
like
I'm
right
not.
here, like this office has 3 spaces or 4 spaces.
4, yep.
That's a lot of space. We have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people, maybe 11 on a really good
In the
day.
entire.
Town hall, that's it.
Less. Well,
So how many of those will need like a private office, like a private room?
Town administrator.
The town administrator, but the town
That's it?
administrator,
Basically,
tax
that's it?
collector.
No, you'd probably need the town accountant, town treasurer, there'd be a HR executive assistant.
but they don't need their own huge, massive, complex office. They just need a space that's
right.
independent.
We
to
just
be
need
able
an
to work.
executive,
Area.
area. Like,
Yeah.
we also have, you know, really have a customer service center with the town clerk and the land use board coordinator, building inspections. It's really a municipal services department. And so kind of thinking about this functionally, you know, how do people get to these areas and get to, you know, the staff in a public service center, but also, you know, how do we ensure that we have the private spaces and the,
Right, and also those spaces that are.
seems like you've flushed that out pretty well with the police and fire.
Yes.
Probably needs, that town government center needs a little bit of a,
Yep.
a
Again,
focus.
this was driven by the program that Nate and I put together, and it was based on departments. That's why it goes by department, the department. It was based
Yes.
on departments.
Sure.
So this is a little bit of a deviation from that direction. You're saying, I'm hearing now, and let's correct me if I'm wrong. It's mostly going to be open space or something like an open space, or a little bit more defined by areas, but not by walls. And in that big open space, it's going to be what, 4, 5, 6 enclosed
Are you
offices.
talking upstairs or down?
Upstairs.
Okay.
Upstairs. Downstairs, we're going to have what, mostly police and fire and the assembly room, basically, right?
Right.
And bathrooms,
Yep.
and maybe a break room. That's basically it, right?
So the nice thing about the town hall office piece is, you know, the bathroom's already established upstairs with the addition of adding one more, right? Exception of adding one more. But everything else, I think, you know, we can continue to kind of flesh out, work with the departments and see what they're really hoping for. I think this is the first time that they've really had an opportunity to opine about what they would like to see for the town hall offices, and, you know, have a little bit of individual input. We have a lot of new folks and so forth, and people coming from different communities, so I think we'll have a lot of thoughts on those. But I think the nice thing is, you know, I think that's the least amount of work that needs to be done to the building to make it operational in the end, because we already have the structure upstairs. So just, are we dropping or throwing the wall?
Yeah, again, this was the department, the heads of departments saw the program and the Excel sheet that we put together, and we filled up the needs and whatever, right? So this is It's fine. I can redesign things. I love doing it. So
Great.
that's why I was happy
Yeah,
to hear it. It's just-
we're
it's
big
just-
ideas.
Yeah,
So-
this is what I'm hearing now. It's a different direction than when we had until now. All right, so just this,
But you think it's doable?
everything is doable. Of course it is.
But do you think it's
Move the
doable
mouse.
Within our,
without a lot of financial impact on the high end? Are we adding
You're
cost
asking
by
in
doing
design.
it?
Well, you're adding cost in design, obviously, but I think
No, in construction, so.
construction is not going to be a major. Again,
It shouldn't add.
I said in one of the initial meetings that we had, demolishing walls and building another wall, it's not a big deal. The big deal is the infrastructure, the mechanical systems, you know, the electrical systems, plumbing and stuff like that. That's the big money. Mainly the mechanical systems.
I just have one quick. Can you help me figure this out? Because it's come up.
Oh, first floor?
He's got a bigger picture here, Sean.
Yeah,
in
I
case
just
he
want,
wants to
I
win.
counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15
Yep,
bathrooms.
okay,
I'm just,
yeah.
He wants to know if he counted.
We currently,
I just like, I want to just kind of, I want to go back to, we have like 10 staff.
we have 5, so there's total.
This,
Oh, but they have.
Again, it's all about the assembly, the occupancy load codes.
understood.
Right, so we're always thinking about worst case scenario, the massive amount of people coming in here on a given night. That's what I'm designing for. I'm not designing for the everyday.
Okay.
And again, that's not my decision, it's the code.
I definitely understand the code here. It's just, I guess I definitely think you need a lot of bathrooms around your assembly area. I do think, you know, when we look at the facade of the building, you know, it's gonna be important for folks to really see this and feel like, you know, this is a municipal complex, not
Yep.
just a public safety complex.
No, I agree, I think the building actually speaks like it's a town hall. It was almost designed for it somehow, without
Yep.
any intention, it seems.
So when people come into this building, you know, into the front of it, I think, you know, again, there might be some other features here that can help them, but they're gonna come in and be expecting to pay, you know, they wanna pay their, most of the people are gonna wanna pay a bill, most of the people are gonna wanna register a dog, most of the people wanna get a birth certificate, few people file a police report, some people will come down and look for a fire permit. Somebody came in today looking for one, into the town clerk's office. And so I have a sense, like, most of the ministerial customer service requests for all 3 functions, police, fire, general government, can be handled in a customer service center or a resident service center.
Can this center be in the front, in the first floor?
For
should
me,
be.
I'm thinking like function and form here. We want a little bit of, like, let's make life easier, as easy as we can for a lot of folks.
Yeah, we have a lot of elderly in town, and they're going to be the ones coming in to.
But I also
even with
like,
an elevator, it's gonna be
yeah,
hard.
Yeah.
I also like the idea that, you know, this this hall, let's say it's the great hall for the town, I don't know, is there a bigger, I mean, if town meeting, you go to the school.
Assembly room, you mean?
This assembly room, yeah. You know, this is having this back here, I think, you know, this could be a room that's just secure at night, just for the public, and you can protect, you know, your safe spaces. You don't want people walking through a facility trying to find a,
Right.
you want to keep them, you know, in a.
No, absolutely, but let's just keep things in proportion. This is the, what, 15 to 25 steps
Yeah.
from the front door. That's basically it. So it's not, you know, a half a mile down the corridor. The corridor is very wide, and it has a freaking double front glass door in the front of it. So it's very, very readable, as we say. It's very clear. You open the front door and you can see all the way to the end of the corridor, and there's going to be a major assembly room with an arrow pointing to the left.
Okay.
So it's very clear what you need to do. Yes, when you look at the floor plan, you're saying, oh, it's in the back of the house. Yeah, it is. But the experience of a user it doesn't feel like it's somewhere beyond the mountains of darkness.
But I think from an employee standpoint on the police and fire, and do correct me if I'm wrong, I think it secures the building a lot more if the public access is more restricted and people can't wander
Yep.
and everything else. So if
Absolutely.
you have that initial where it says Department A through C, and that's now the assembly hall, and even push it back a little further, then you're essentially making it adjacent to those first two bathroom entrances, so that people can use the bathroom right off of the assembly hall, and then whether the bathrooms are split in half and the other side is just for staff, or you make it all accessible just for the whatever it is, that makes it so that that's the limitation, and then you can throw a wall, you know, right after the elevator there on the inside, and then you're good to go.
Or you
So
could
that-
also put,
Yeah, so then
double doors here,
stealing your
which are
thing.
restricted.
Right.
Yep, so then you would just have,
Yeah.
so it would look like, I'm drawing on your picture, Seth, I hope that's okay, I didn't even ask permission. So here's your new assembly hall right here,
Yeah.
right? And then here, this part gets cut off here, or even here if you want, whatever. So here's your elevator, so people can come in here and go the elevator, go up to town hall, or they come in here, there's the assembly hall, and look, ooh, bathroom.
Well, you don't want to have people coming directly from the bathroom into the assembly room. Right? It's going to have to be some kind of a
Well,
corridor.
they could enter this corridor right here, right?
Yeah, so, but again, not directly from the assembly room.
Then you can
want
do
them to
that.
go outside.
And then
right,
go in,
And
yeah.
then go into another.
No, it's fine.
place.
But you still want to secure the area so that people can't go beyond that.
Yeah, but again, securing an area or separating an area doesn't have to be with a wall. It can be with a door.
Car access.
Can we lock the
Oh,
doors?
yeah, yeah.
not
George,
access door.
do we, like, I know we talked, we get existing plumbing
That's okay.
right in the middle, but do we have to keep these bathrooms right in that
don't.
center?
We don't have to
For
do-
me, that's like, you know, that's like
We
your,
don't.
your front, your.
Prime real estate.
Yeah, and you're like, like, is that?
That's the reason I switched the entry to them to the back. That's
But,
exactly
you know,
the
for
reason.
me, I'd love to see them demoted, you know. And-
Again, remember, it's about the user experience. When I'm here,
Yep.
if I'm not working here, I don't know that behind this wall there's a bathroom. Don't know it.
Okay,
Oh, I see how it is.
yeah,
But
I-
the
it
entrance
looks
to
like
the
a wall.
bathroom was originally closer
But
to the entrance. to the
in
assembly
my
hall,
mind,
and
I'm
there was
thinking,
a lot.
let's capture that for the assembly space
Mm-hmm.
and create something that is really special for,
Yeah, bigger.
you know, yeah, like prominent, like this is town hall.
Yep.
And here's the hall, but it's also the training center, multimedia center,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the place where, you know, folks get awards and, you know, you have
Yeah,
your
you do the
annual.
voting there, right?
Yeah, firefighter ball and
You do-
police
you do voting
ball,
in the
you know,
cen-
it's
Right.
big enough
We
to.
usually do it at the school.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
I don't know.
move that or.
Is that too much?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a lot
You
of
have an
space.
in-person voting? Say hi, say hi. You don't have that?
we do, but we
It's probably
to
school.
usually
It's
do it
school,
at
so-
school.
I mean, but this is, I'm thinking about a room for 125 people. You know, in the
Much
school
bigger room,
auditorium,
yeah.
you're talking about 200, 300, you know. And so, I don't know how many people, I kind of, it's what, 70?
Here? I think
Yeah.
we went for 56.
56?
Again, I'm talking from memory.
Again, if you did 100, if you know, if you wanted to create a space that was incrementally bigger, and we could capture a little bit more of the, I'm going to say the prime real estate here. Because when you walk into an open space or an open hall, you know, that feels like it's a, you know, and then you have your rooms off of it, or you know, folks
Yes.
can be directed.
I think this entire
All the way down to-
right side of the building can be almost entirely dedicated, except for the spot that we took for the fire,
Yeah.
which I think we need. Except for that, can be almost dedicated to the assembly room, if we're going with the grand assembly room. And were you here when we showed you the one that we did in Middletown, Connecticut?
I don't think so.
Okay, it's on I think it's on our website, right? Again, we did something like you're saying, a grand assembly room, hundreds of people can fit there, giant, you know, elements on the ceiling, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I'm not looking
all the
to-
spiel.
I know.
So I can do the diet version of here too, if you want that. If
Did you say diet?
the diet version.
Yeah, I think that's, we want to, you know, obviously, you know, we got to see the cost estimates. We got to understand, like, what's it going to cost to shift a few of these things around, because ultimately, this has to be presented in a very prudent way. But this is the time for us to really, get to brass tacks and get the space needs set. Function's really important in terms of workplace and how, police officers work together, firefighters work together, municipal staff work together. So we got to really keep, the synergies among those functions supported with the facility. But, it seems like it's a big space, and so we have the ability to kind of move a few things around. I know it's not like Legos, but
It's not, on the one hand, but on the other hand, it is. And as you said, now it's the time to design it correctly according to your needs. It's not a problem for me to move.
where are we in terms of design development?
That's what you're saying that's what.
Is this 50,
That's it.
90? Is it 75%? Like
I was hoping for it to be 95% as schematic design, but we're now back to 10%.
The police station looks great.
See, I came in for a visit, and I did it with him, and
That's great.
But the fire chief has a lot of issues.
Oh, I was waiting for the note from the chief.
Can I actually,
I kept asking for fire chief comments.
Mel,
We'll get there.
Okay.
Mel, do you have any
That was a
thoughts?
while ago.
Like, okay, so if we could have Mel give her thoughts too, because she is our municipal representative now,
She's going to be the one there, sitting
that's
there.
sitting there, and I would like to hear,
So I didn't have any thoughts until about 5 seconds ago, but no, I'm just kidding. So initially when we had met with you, back when Nate was the town administrator, we had talked, I had mentioned like when I go into other town halls, was just like the hall where everything's there, which obviously upstairs would be pretty well suited to that. But then I just had this crazy thought while you guys were all talking. What if, obviously this is just my brain thinking.
Throw it out there.
So if we kept the town offices over where they are now and had the front hallway where that little like lunchroom is, be like the hallway that connects, as you said, the customer service area where
Are you looking
everyone
at the
seems to
existing
go.
conditions?
Yeah,
Okay.
what's over there. This is just, I'm just brainstorming here.
Yeah.
So you have like the hallway where the little lunchroom is, and then there's 2 other offices inside technically that could potentially be used for town administrator, executive assistant, and then the big space could easily be used for just like a coffee room. So then you're just using that space as it is, conference room, which was something we had talked about before, being right in the front of the building, just as, and potentially accessible with an outside door, just so it's like more accessible to the public. And then the
But
fire. in the
where are
back.
you having it?
Well, I had, this is what I did. Like currently the right wing is just the town offices, adding in the offices
Oh,
of you
so
two
you're,
guys.
so you're saying instead of
Essentially
having it
switching.
fire,
And, well, then if you had the conference room up here next to the elevator, the small conference room, and then upstairs
And then all
would be,
the
this
fire
would be like
department.
fire over here, closer to their bays, just a thought. And then upstairs,
Again,
like
no windows.
storage.
there's no windows there.
I mean, I don't have windows right now in my office. So,
Is it okay not to have windows in the fire department actual offices?
Like a few windows.
well, yeah, you don't have them now, right? So you'd want one.
Yeah, we got one.
Yeah.
Because you guys are,
And it's
right.
like you're in prison looking at out that window.
But we get a lot of bathrooms, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bathrooms. 'Cause we
Why don't
only
we-
have like 5 bathrooms. in there.
If you don't mind, and I don't want to stop you in the middle of what you had to say, please continue when I'm done. But just, why don't you tell me what you need, and I'll solve the problems
Well-
of how to do it in a more efficient way.
So I still have to figure out what we need for like storage vault wise for the town records, because we still, it's currently at the library. Currently, we're upstairs, we're using just a room for all of our files, which to me seems fine because it doesn't need to be accessible 24/7.
Do you
But
have any idea of the size that you need for vaults?
No,
Do you
I
know
mean,
what
what
size
we
of your
have,
spaces over at town hall, the old town hall, or library?
it's
rather?
probably like 8 by 12 or something.
Oh, so it's not
But it's
huge.
too big. It's
It's too big. It's too big, you're saying?
It's very large.
Oh,
Like
8 by
there's
8 would
Not
work.
huge.
there's excessive things in there that don't, some of them don't need to be in there.
okay. And it is a vault, so it's protected on all sides, different
Yeah, and it-
air conditioning system,
Right.
sprinklers, blah, blah, blah.
And
No sprinklers.
so basically,
No sprinklers?
I would think that the way we have set up now, we've been here for 1 year. I personally think, as someone who's worked over there, that the open concept with the customer service counter type scenario, I think works really well, and people come in to take care of all their business, and then they go away.
So
The
it's gonna be one front desk that takes care of all of those things?
Well, yeah, but not one person. I don't know if you've seen over there. It's a long counter. It's like 20 feet long or
So
something.
this is all counter,
Yeah, this,
and then
yeah, I've
they
been
get the
there.
square, yeah.
Yeah, but again.
They like that.
I'm kind of surprised because that was all nixed. We had that in one of the first options and it was poo-pooed.
Right. Well, so nobody took our consideration in, which is why I thought why I'm saying this now. But one other thing that we had originally suggested was that, like, in the North Brookfield Town Hall, it's just a hallway, and then each person has their own room, which I also understand is good because then you could have town clerk storage in the town clerk office. Nobody else has access to it. Then it's very clear, like, oh, then you walk 5 feet down and it's the tax collector's office. But I mean, I think whatever space there is, it's gonna be fine. Yeah, it's funny to think about, like, where to put everything.
Well,
We have a
again,
difficult job.
this building as it is, and we are enlarging it by a lot, is big. Okay, there's a lot of space. What is lacking is windows. So the game will be where to put what and what doesn't have to have a window. And again, I'm assuming storage doesn't have to have a window. I'm assuming bathrooms still don't have to, and break rooms don't have to have windows. Maybe not all the conference rooms. Probably not all of them. Maybe not all of the conference don't have to have windows. But I want to give windows to people who sit there every day, right? If possible. So, and again, that's the reason we kind of switched the fire department to that side.
So you're saying natural light is important?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
The-
I agree.
Yeah. I mean, when doing all that change, we're investing all that money and brain power and time. Let's make it right. That's the.
So it's hard to do that with an existing building, you'd have to, if you don't have windows, you have to look at
We have, as I said,
punching in and creating, voids and creating,
or
you
use the spaces that don't have windows in them for things that don't have to have windows,
That's right.
which is kind of what we did. I'm going to go back to doing that. It's just going to be a different order of things.
Okay.
So one of the, thank you, Mel, for sharing that. It's nice to
No
have
problem.
those slides. So, right, I think you had came in when we started talking about it. So the little space that's on the right for the fire side with those chairs on the proposed drawing, right?
Yep.
So if we were to use that as an EOC, maybe we could move that somewhere close to where the assembly room is now, so that police and fire could have access to the EOC.
On both sides.
And then you can put their bunk rooms here, move them from upstairs down.
Yeah.
Like, that way you get the
And
bunk
again,
rooms on the
there's-
first floor.
Does that make sense to you?
There's a large space here that I called fire lounge, and we were talking about, right, a gym maybe, small gym, or just a place to sit and watch TV or whatever, have coffee.
But that would open up additional space for them so that they could have a separated lounge versus less pretty smelling area.
Yep.
Where you say those bunk rooms would go?
Where the, your training room is now.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
or that.
again,
Yeah.
those bunk beds area, they don't have to have a window. I would like to give them a window, but they don't have to have a window. It's only for sleeping, right?
Yeah.
It's easier, if you
once
don't
in a
have
blue
a
moon.
window, you don't have to do blackout shades.
So speaking of managing space correctly, that's one of the things that we need to take into consideration. What else? We're going to have to obviously have a new list, a new program, and you're going to. I will want everybody here to opine when I put together the new program list. Please, everybody, take a look at it and see what you have to say about it before I put it on paper.
Absolutely. I know, it can be frustrating because getting this right is so important, but it's
What I do for a living.
I know. I've spent a few years.
It's not
on-
frustrating.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I want you guys to be happy.
This is the time where everybody, really will come to the table, and the more we can refine it, the more we can really get this to really reflect the function and form that the town needs, the more likely we're going to be successful when
Yep.
we present it.
So on that, I have a question again from my experience with the other town that I worked with. They had a big thing about not looking that they're spending public money on themselves too much when it's not needed. I'm assuming it's the same.
Oh, no, Hubbardston's not like that at all.
I mean, there's always going to be somebody that will be critical of one through another, but I'm
Yeah, we could put burlap up in the windows and people would be complaining that we took burlap away from some farm or something like that.
I think you just need to, you gotta spec this out in the most prudent way possible and provide the rationale for why you need the space allocated the way it is. And there's plenty of studies to back out, bless you.
No, I'm talking about things like we surveyed the chairs and we had to reuse the chairs.
Are you talking about fixtures and furnishings?
I'm talking about just as an example how much
FF&E,
it was
yeah.
an issue there.
Yeah, FF&E is always an issue, but you get, if you build or renovate a beautiful facility and you're really gonna skimp on.
Exactly. So that's actually what they wanted there. They wanted to look like they're suffering when they're moving. Yeah, we save money on chairs.
Well, I will defer to the some others, but I think we owe it to the public to present the most prudent project that really aligns the workflow and the space needs most effectively. I think it sounds like you've got the police department right where you need it to be. The fire department doesn't seem it's that far off.
You have a couple of things.
The chief's
Yeah,
concerns.
there's a few things, but it's just like storage and stuff like that. Nothing that's gonna change the footprint, so.
Okay.
I can
And
send
again,
it to
if
you.
you have sizes of things,
Yep.
I remember we spoke about those lockers, right? You
Yeah,
have
the gear lockers are just from
gear
that.
lockers that are much
It
bigger
doesn't
than
seem like,
regular
yeah, if it's a big enough room.
Yes.
So expand that. I don't know if we need the extra bathroom out there, so that would free up room.
Again, that's
Yeah,
about that's already
closet
there.
space added to a couple of rooms. Yeah, so there's nothing really that's gonna change anything.
The bathroom here in the back, you're saying this is an existing bathroom that we just kept.
That's the one that's in your.
Okay, if it's
training
free,
room.
we'll take it.
The two extra ones inside the new building is for cleanups, for hazmat.
Yeah.
So we've kind of figured you guys would need a bigger bathroom.
So
with
that's
a
your
shower.
hazmat,
Come back from
cleanup
call.
area.
Yeah. And I think I even called it in a very cool, sexy name.
You've got the exhaust system spec in here too.
Not yet. It's coming. That's going to be the mechanical engineers. So yeah, I call it cleanup hall.
Clean up hole? A hole.
Hall.
Oh, okay.
H-A.
We just dip the firemen in the hole and take them out.
If they come back up, I'll be away.
Works for my cows.
So Joy, I know you were sending another invoice
Yes.
this week, right? This
Correct.
week you thought? Do we, because our funds are still being certified, so it's really hard for us to get a good hand. Do you know where we're at with what we had contracted?
I'm gonna have to get back to you.
Okay.
I think we're pretty deep into schematic design or whatever we called it in that contract. And we're gonna have to redo some things, obviously. So
I guess we're trying to figure out what funds do we have available to be able to do that?
I get that.
Because
We'll
that's
get-
gonna obviously factor into what,
Yeah, absolutely. Again, it needs to be redesigned. So I'm gonna have to do it again, and I'll do it as quickly as I can. And again, it will depend a lot on your cooperation on that, as I said in the first meeting. You guys remember?
Do you have, so based on what we've talked about tonight, do you have I know you said as quickly as you can, but for our purposes of rescheduling a meeting, we need to have enough time to be able to review what you have, give you feedback, give you time to make a modification, and then re-meet. Do you have an idea of how long you think that's gonna
Yes,
be?
I had, and I actually love deadlines. I'm a military person, I love deadlines. So I can definitely, I think a month from now should be enough for all of us to put something on paper, put something on the list, program list, send to you, get your opinions back, and rework the design. I think it should be enough, right?
George, do you do your own cost estimates, or do you hire that out?
We don't do a cost estimate, we hire.
Okay.
And I think in our contract, we don't have it, if from memory, right?
I'm not sure.
I think it was excluded.
Okay.
Well, after-
We can
This
bring
is just a
something.
schematic design contract?
No, it's not.
This is
It's a CD, full CD contract.
Okay.
But
But
we're
it's
not
done
doing the
in
pricing.
Phases.
We're not doing,
I get you.
it's not a design build. We're doing the design only. So schematic design, design development, construction documents, permit, and then CA, so construction
Right.
administration.
And we're at
Once
90
you're building it, I'll be here a few weeks to see if things are happening.
Okay, you're gonna clerk it as well?
No, thank you.
All right. All right, you sound, you're pretty
Look at me,
eager.
come
All
on,
right.
look like a clerk.
But we're at 90% of schematic.
We were, now we're back.
Gotcha. All right, when do we move forward at, like, was there a process at 50%? Did the committee vote? Like, what?
Well, I
like-
was communicating with Nate all the time.
Yeah.
There were like 20 emails a week going back
Gotcha.
and forth, and we kind of built, step by step and got to this.
Understood. Like, when we get to these milestones, I think it's important for the committee to vote and for the committee to give you that feedback, because we got stakeholders here from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Critical,
And again,
you know.
the only thing I asked now is the same thing I asked in the first time, is to have a person that I can communicate with, because if I need to communicate with everybody, nothing's gonna move, nothing's gonna
Totally
happen.
agree. Yep.
People are gonna start hating me.
Well, I think a good person would be our chair.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be me, John.
There you go.
Because, Sean loves us, but he's only going to stay with us
That's
for
right.
so long. So at some point, he's going to run away waving. But,
You're not gonna see it through?
Sadly, I will come back and visit, but
Okay.
I have seen a few of these through.
He's an interim TA.
Okay.
so.
yes, but, Carrie's not an interim chair, so.
No. This is lifelong at this point.
Life sentence.
At least right now she isn't. She may rethink it.
Wait, I'll do my best to make it as easy as possible as I can. I've done it a gazillion times before, so it's doable.
So if we set our next meeting for approximately a month from today, we think that's enough time for you to do your initials, us to get our opinions back in individually, to Carrie to get to you, and then you to make the final modifications,
No,
hopefully close to 100%.
Yeah.
I
I said,
can ask-
yeah, but yes.
I could ask a question. Which plan that?
Let me just correct you before I forget, because I will forget. The first thing we need to do is a program list.
Okay, yep.
It's a different program. I'm going to make a program list, maybe in an Excel sheet, and send it to you, and have you opine on all of it.
What is a program list? What are we looking at? How do we opine?
It's a list of needs and sizes and number of people per room, connections between different departments,
Okay.
how things are working from a programmatic point of view. not
Okay,
from
so
a
it's gonna
design
say assembly room, move to front right corner, access from
Yes.
outside, access to bathroom, hold X people.
100 people, yes, exactly, yes. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to ask the question in terms of, before you go and have to do redesigning, et cetera, we've had a couple of plans suggested here. What, are we even agreed upon a plan yet? Because I hate to see him redesign something and that, well, that took care of Mel's idea, but that's not what Heather was saying. So before he goes off to earn more money, okay?
Make more money.
That too. So I just would like a recap. Are we in agreement on anything here as a committee before we send him off to try to
I
design
think-
whatever it is
I
we've been
think
talking
that
about?
list is the beginning.
That's the beginning, yeah.
That's the beginning, and that's also the time that you can read it and opine on it and say what you want to add or subtract, and
Multiply, all those.
I do think, this is, process of iterations. And, you know, we've got an architect that really understands the code and understands how to move things around and still be code compliant, but also really help us really get that function and form that I think will most support the needs of the town. A lot of good ideas, though. It'd be great to keep the general government function together, but we got to balance the needs of the residents too. There's a real, we get a lot of foot traffic in this building. If you had to say, over the course of a month, you probably have more people coming into this building to pay a tax bill, to get a birth certificate, death certificate, car register, or some registration.
We're not in New
Trying to
Hampshire yet.
register.
I know, not New Hampshire. I did work in New Hampshire, so that's why I'm
Yeah.
get a little bit of that. But it gets busy in the town government side, and having them go up a second floor. That still, I'm having a hard time.
So
Getting
what
my
if we
mind
do the
around that.
service area, how do you call it, the customer service?
Resident service area,
In the first floor, maybe close to the elevator.
Because it would have to be all of the departments, right? We don't have a big enough staff to segregate it and have someone cover the customer service desk. It has to be accessible for everything. My
Again,
thought
that's-
with
yep.
the second floor is that, first of all, yeah, it's an elevator, but it's an elevator, right? You go to a doctor's office, 99% of the time you're taking an elevator, it's a senior to go up, right? It's a brand new elevator, it'll work fine. They won't be afraid of it, they'll get used to it, but everything can be upstairs. The other thing benefits us is efficiency, right? And energy savings, because upstairs is only gonna be open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4 for most of the offices. The
You just-
public's access, when no one's up there, the lights are out. Fire, PD, everything's on the first floor. They don't need access to the second floor, so you're gonna have a substantial savings. You're not gonna be sending heat to the second floor for the bunk beds for the fire department. Fire's gonna be on the first floor. So it's going to be a lot easier, plus it's more efficient. Now, Mel's idea of that long table customer service, I think is fantastic. I think we can totally find a way to have them have
On the
more
upper floor.
opining on it, on that second floor, of how it looks and how the offices would space into it, so that they have the separation they need for their stuff and independent calls and so forth, but still have that feeling of, come to us, here's the customer service, how can we help you? Right now, where they all kind of jump in and everything else.
All right, so again, I'm gonna put that on the list too, but in any case, this customer service desk is gonna be second floor, and also not one person. It's gonna be different, the different departments are gonna have representatives, let's call it this there, right?
Well, I think it's just in
Or
front.
the admin staff could be like in the open area, and then outside of that, against the outside
In the
walls.
front of it.
Yeah, then the outside walls would be the private offices and storage space.
So it's basically, again, what, like you said, what we have there now, it's basically this store.
Yes, yeah, something like that, yep. And then the offices would be along the edges.
And you might be able to use some of the footprint upstairs already
Yeah,
without
I'm-
having to make many modifications, so it's pretty.
I'll let
easy.
you in a little secret how I do things. The way I do things is I put things at the walls where I want them, and then I overlay the existing conditions on them,
Ah,
and then I move slightly to save walls.
Yeah.
This is the way it's done.
but the nice thing about doing all of the town hall upstairs as well is that's the easiest, the elevator's the hard part. Once the elevator's in, theoretically, town hall's pretty much ready to go upstairs with the few modifications, and they're done, and then they vacated the entire side for fire.
Yes, for phasing. You're saying
Yeah.
for phasing?
Yeah.
For phasing, it's the best thing.
And the elevator is the key thing.
Well, and that we're
Correct,
gonna
yeah.
need
Elevated
as soon as
stairwell.
possible anyway, so, might as well get it in.
Yep. We need structural engineer and so on. Yes. Okay.
Mike, do you have any comments?
Do I have any comments?
Anything?
Do you have any thoughts?
'Cause I feel like
feedback,
I do,
objections,
well, I feel like
concerns?
decisions are being made and not everyone has had a chance to really probably speak on them, so
It'll be interesting to see what the general populace thinks of having to take an elevator up to the town hall.
I
Just-
100% agree.
Just to get a license
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
some other sort of thing.
Yeah. And I know why we're trying to save that space and everything, but I do agree
Yeah.
with that.
Can things work with a Dropbox on the first floor? Some things.
I think there'll always be a big piece of the public that are gonna wanna,
To talk to somebody.
see somebody.
I'm like that.
And we talked about trying to do the opposite, right, which was put all of town hall on the first floor, but then we're pulling fire and PD away from where they need
I
to
don't
be.
think, I don't think we have to put all of town services, Mel's department, on the first floor. Some of it, the open desk area of, people coming in for things. I don't know, you can opine on this, but can some of those folks be upstairs and some downstairs?
Really, the only ones that could be upstairs, I feel like, is the executive people.
Okay.
Like, I was curious what you thought about, like, even just having the elevator as, like, if it was still broken up the way it is now, instead of having to go downstairs and then outside, would that make you feel closer to us with just the elevator? Or is it still too much?
I'm still a big fan of putting, your municipal team right next to each other. I mean,
Yeah.
like, we have so many things that happen, and when you have to get up and go almost into a different area,
I
I
hear
know
you.
we're human. It
Yep.
just, you create those barriers to synergies, and it's such a small workforce. If you have a developer that comes in and wants to do something that's inconsistent, or perhaps could be more consistent with the master plan, your town administrators, it's an important role for master planning and helping to shape development and projects, along with your land use board coordinator, so you have the teamwork among just, a couple of employees, and you want to make sure that you have that synergy. Same thing with, the town clerk's office. You're going to the training, the next couple of days, and so you have an assistant clerk. You have folks that have to have redundant capacities and have to share, different workloads, and having them work closely together, helps to make that seamless experience for a small town department. But again, we've got an assistant. We don't have a lot of.
There's only like 7
You can
people
rattle
that
them
work
off in a
full-time.
second. It's like you got a treasurer, an assistant treasurer, tax collector, and town accountant, and just having them all work together, I think, is critically important.
Well, especially, I mean, I don't know, if you came down for one day and spent the day in the customer service area, there's literally 100+ people that come through every day, I would estimate. But because a lot of our people are part-time, like the building inspector, the board of health person, the accountant, and the assessor, the land use assessing and building all work so closely together that it's, and like you said, if one of us is gone, because there's only one person in each of 2 departments, like there's only 2 of those people are finance and the other 5 are the other 7 departments or whatever. So there's a lot of overlap. So I kind of liked your suggestion, Seth, of like, I mean, obviously each department needs their own space for their things, so like business certificates, whatever, that are specific to them, but there's so much overlap, especially with assessing, building, and even town clerk, I guess, that I always have to jump in and help, and so does Leanne. There's just constant people coming in. I don't know.
So I have an idea that's not feasible, but I'm gonna throw it out anyway, right? So, what we could do, which is not feasible, it's too expensive, because you'd have to knock down things. But to give the concept of the counter and give the concept of community and everything else, if you are upstairs, once you go up those stairs, and if it was essentially like, almost like a round circle,
The cupola on top of the...
Well, not so much a cupola, but if it was more like a rotary, right? But around the
You're still
rotary
pushing,
was the
you're still pushing
windows.
for offices upstairs, town offices.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think
I
that has
know,
to happen.
I know the public wants them on the first floor, and I would love to have them on the first floor. I don't think it's feasible. And we have such a small team, and if we cannot allow the team to work together and feel like they're backed up and supported on a regular basis, we're gonna continue to struggle with turnover. So even if we could put people in the first floor offices, if there's no one to staff the office because we can't maintain people, upstairs or downstairs, wherever we can put all the town, it's such a small thing. You're talking 11 people. You go to a large city, there could be 11 people in one of these offices. But
Yep.
there's not. There's a total of 11, and that's not even FTE equivalents. That's just human bodies, which we employ.
There's like 5.5 FTE.
Yeah,
Right.
right, but that's the thing, but if you can find a way to make it, okay, make it a good experience to the public, because to your point, Dror, right, like, how does the public see it, right? If they come in, it's like, oh, it's a wide open space, oh, I can go to Mouse Point, that nice round counter, right, well labeled, I just go to wherever I want, and on the back end, everything's kind of open, like, there could be cubbies or whatever, but, or a private space as we need it, but essentially, you know, it's that open space, so if Mel has to go hop in for building department, she walks around a circle for a window and grabs whatever she needs or whatever. It's just, again, I don't think it's feasible because I imagine dropping that many walls
Frankly,
or whatever
I really don't
would
think
cost.
we need, we think we have enough space. It's just about designing it correctly.
But that would be, you know, that very welcome area, right? Very centrally located. I don't know if anyone's ever done it before. I like to think I'm, you know,
It's a
the
novelty.
edge.
It's a novelty. I'll bring it up to the
So-
academy.
But I don't
But-
even know if it's possible. It's just the
Everything
idea
is
that.
possible, it's just, I think it's too
Yeah,
expensive.
everything is possible.
But again, I think we can design what you need. I think we can design the entire town hall upstairs. I think there's enough space there. Mostly if we do put something downstairs. For example, the break room, can it be downstairs?
You don't take breaks here.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
So I think there's enough
So
space
that's easy.
upstairs that the break room can fit upstairs, no problem. There's not that many departments and many people overlap
Exactly.
in
So
the department anyway.
I don't think we need to add more things on the roof there. I think there's
You're talking
enough
about
space.
that break room right there? Yeah, I think you can move
Well,
that.
I wasn't suggesting that we extend. I was trying not to draw over my
Oh,
picture.
Yeah.
because I'm thinking, he's
No, no, no,
building
no,
a
no,
cupola on
no.
top
I'm
of the
saying, no, no,
fire.
no, no. I'm saying you come up here and then this is a rotary. And then all the office space, with the exception of the bathroom access, and then all office space is back here,
Yeah,
but the
I-
public just stays in this lovely circle.
Yeah, again, I wouldn't do it round because round is very inefficient when it comes to circulation. I know it sounds weird,
Yes.
but that's the way it is.
But you get the concept of what I
Yes,
was
yes,
trying
yes.
to.
Yeah, it's doable.
We can square the circle.
We can
You
square
can
it.
make it not.
Look, you can come back, I can tell you, you know, you
Yeah.
can come back and have option A, B, C, and D, and they all have, you know.
Pros and cons.
Yeah, some pros and cons, and we can refine it and hopefully get you.
Yeah,
what you
usually I
need.
don't do option A, B, C, and D. I do one option and we talk about it.
That's fair.
Yeah, I get it.
So the next step for you is you're gonna come up with a list. So
Yes.
if he's coming up with a list, Carrie, then maybe we need to have a meeting before.
I was thinking that, yes.
So we can publicly discuss the list and Jeff, to your point, then vote on the list.
Yeah.
So we have a cohesive, here's what we want, and then Dror doesn't have to figure out reading between the lines. He just says, oh, cell 4, A4, got it.
Right. Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I have the list of departments because I have all the big Excel sheets that Nathan and I put together, but if you want to put something that is much more simplified, like Department A, 4 people, two private.
Yeah, why don't we give you the actual names of the departments, so.
The best, so it doesn't, it's not called Department A, B,
Yeah.
and C. Yes,
Yep.
please. And also, what needs to be next to what, if there's anything that does have to go in specific order.
It's like administration and finance should be,
Close to,
Yeah.
and then town clerk and land use are kind of.
Right, I think
that's how it works?
Yeah.
Right, that's what I need.
Yeah.
Those connections
Yeah,
is really
that,
helpful.
that and how many people,
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
I think
And what
that-
is public?
and
sorry,
any,
just
and
one-
any other specific requirements.
Right, and which one of them is public facing? and to what level?
Okay.
Which department sees a lot of people during the week? And
I think that would be very helpful.
I think
I think it would be a good exercise for us as well.
tax collector probably sees the most, and I think the town clerk, and then your building.
Building or land use.
Yep. That said, I do think this is a good conversation, and, we're at a point now where it's all starting to come together. There shouldn't be any idea or anything that is held back at this point. It'd be great to get this out to the town hall staff as well and get their opinions. I'm happy to kind of bring this back and with Mel.
Well,
and
that's, yes.
get some feedback.
Supposed to be my role.
Yeah,
just remember that if you ask somebody for their opinion, they will give their opinion.
yeah, we're in that business. You don't think any of us that serve in public life are unfamiliar with that,
But that's Mel's job alone to bring
Right.
that back to us, right? Just like our job is to condense what we're all thinking and bring that back to you. And
So again, as soon as I exit that door, I only speak to you.
yes, and I know this was a little.
Unless I
I can
need
speak to you.
something.
I know this was a little tough to kind of hear tonight, but we needed to do this as a group just because we weren't able to previously. So I think this was important for us to be able to do and for all of us to be able to say, and now we know and we will.
Yep.
Well,
New
my
beginnings.
only other comment is that, so before when we were in the other town offices, obviously each person, with the exception of me and probably assessing, shared an office. It was, so if Nancy wasn't there, the building department is closed, like, nobody can help her, whoever needs help. So the last year, the way it's set up, not to say that we should all have access to everybody's stuff, but it's been really great because we all know where everybody's things are. So if someone is out, we are able to step in and help find that stuff. And same with, like, tomorrow I'm going to a conference. Leanne knows where the dog license stuff is, and it's just, and anything that needs to be locked away is locked away in a filing cabinet or the vault. So it doesn't necessarily need to be the coliseum of the town offices and everyone just goes in there and it's whatever. But if there's some, I guess, it doesn't really matter. I guess we'll just make do with whatever ends up being set up. But I'm just saying, it seems to have worked well over the last year with having it. At least those 4 departments in the room I'm in being able to be connected, I guess.
No, that kind of is exactly my experience, and in both of the towns that I've worked in, we've consolidated the appropriate departments together,
Yeah.
planning and building inspection. That's your economic development department, or that's your master planning department. Clerk and tax collector, that's basically your customer service, and you get a lot of traffic for both of those departments. But we've also, we added a lot of the municipal permits, police and fire, and just to make sure that, in a small town, you can free up, some of the administrative tasks for those departments so they can get back to, the public safety responsibilities that they have. All these things are part of efficiencies, but if you have a small workforce and you can train and you have that redundancy and you have the space plan that actually enhances it and doesn't detract from it, you're not working on different floors and you don't have different people working in different areas where you don't have the synergies. Makes a lot of sense.
I have one question about the soon-to-be future floor plan.
Only one?
Yeah, what about the future expansion? We were talking about that a little bit.
You always have to keep an element for that.
Right.
So you can tell us what we have available for that.
Okay.
But it looks like on, Chief's not here now, but it looks like on the PD side, theoretically you could add more office space in a section if you needed to. Or
The way the PD is,
design.
for the workforce I have now, it's gonna work great, plenty of room. If we were to add in the future, we have room for that too.
Okay, and fire?
Yeah,
So-
that's why there was expansion on the second floor. If you need to add more bunk rooms, there was space on the second floor.
Okay.
That would be the only thing that would be need to be added.
And they get a
potentially.
pole.
But if the bunk beds, you said
We
the
do have
bunk
a
beds
pole
are gonna
head.
go where those seats are, right?
I-
Which is
joking,
gonna
but
be
we did
bigger
put it-
space than
Yeah,
what's
we
have
upstairs,
it.
so theoretically.
I've had to
you
deal
just
with
don't buy
3
as much
broken
furniture,
ankles
but you
because
have
of that
Falls?
fall in 10 years.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I had a chief slide down it and break his ankle.
Yeah, Pittsburgh has a slide. Well, it's not doing anymore, but, yeah.
I think by code, you have to have like a specific, it's almost like a big cushion at the bottom.
Big
Oh, yeah.
mat underneath.
They'll still break
They
it.
Yeah, it's-
still, it is,
There's a ball.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not gonna say it in a public meeting. Yeah.
Yeah, I was designing it and my knees were saying, hello.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Well, I know the fire department's gonna be devastated that we moved them onto the first floor.
I don't know that they'll be that devastated.
Okay. All right, George, so.
No, he didn't seem he seemed okay
wants
with that. I
windows,
mean,
yeah.
I didn't.
I was
think
being
he-
sarcastic
Oh,
with the
sorry,
removal of the pole.
sorry.
We can keep the pole in there, because then
Just
maybe
for
the
fun.
town hall staff, they can get
But
down
just
that
put it in
way.
my vault, and then every time I have
After you
to
punch out for the
There
day,
you
jump on
go,
the
because the
pole,
vault
slide
would have
down
to be
and-
on the
I have to
first
go
floor,
back.
there's no way.
I wasn't
that-
the stairs. I don't know, we've got a set of stairs over in the fire department. That's where we're keeping the stairs.
Well, we currently have a
With the
stair
curb.
there.
Two pairs.
This is existing.
Gotcha.
The existing stair of the other side of the building is actually somewhere here.
Right.
Yep.
And I nixed it and just moved it here,
Yeah.
so it will be much more public facing.
It's right next to the elevator.
Gotcha.
Right.
Yeah.
So
you know, you
basically,
could walk her
we're just looking for, so to what you're saying and what Mel's saying, so second floor, and if we can have people walk up and not be confronted by a door, a wall, where they're walking up into this, just like they walk in the door over there,
You're
and
saying
there's the
upstairs.
counter.
Upstairs,
Yes,
yes, yes.
and there's the counter space. That's essentially
They should,
what
they
we
should come out of the
feel,
elevator and
and have a
immediately see
counter space right there,
Yeah.
yes.
Right.
Because
Stairs,
otherwise it's just
elevator.
Confusion. It's like when you go upstairs, people are like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where do I go?
Yeah, that's not gonna happen
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
in space of the right design.
I thought that was just me. It's good to know.
No, it's literally.
Yeah, no,
upstairs.
no.
Absolutely. Again, this is public facing, desks are a major thing in yeah, absolutely. In projects like that. What else can I be of nuisance of?
That.
I think that's it.
You're good, Jor, really. Thank you so much for coming, appreciate it.
Thank you.
We live in Clinton, so it's Hopkins.
Yeah, that's great.
You might not want to take Route 2.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it was late.
What's on Route 2?
There was a tractor truck, trailer truck rollover
Yeah, we would, I mean, my GPS took me,
a couple hours ago.
Oh, you could've just taken 62.
Yep.
I'm so glad I
In our
Take
area?
62 home.
Yeah, glad my community.
It's in Fitchburg, but it shut they had to shut the highway down.
Gotcha, yeah.
Going east or west?
Going east.
Oh, he's gotta go home that way.
Did you see
Maybe it's.
where are you going home to?
Did you see
Where's
the
home?
pictures I got? What was
Uh, It is the North Shore.
Oh, where?
Oh, and have the department helicopter pick you up?
You
She's
gonna
from
help?
Andover. She's from Andover.
Oh,
I'll be
great,
in the
yeah.
basement. Yeah. I did
Yeah,
see
I
that.
can,
It's really good.
I'll
Frank gave it to her, and she said,
reconnoiter.
"Can you put it on?" And he went around the house all day with it.
Thank you.
guys.
It's like flight to Florida, the kids still
Thank you.
long drive.
Thank you, thank you,
Are we gonna
thank you.
recess or?
Thank
we
you.
take-
We're, yeah,
To recess?
yes.
All in favor, all opposed, to vote? All right. For the minutes. Sorry, I'm,
That's, no, you
have we
go,
wrapped?
go do
Sorry,
No,
what
I
you
don't think
need
we're
to.
wrapped.
We gotta
yet.
do,
Too excited.
and we have to
That's
do,
quite all right.
our next meeting, so,
This Tuesday, was Tuesday working for everyone, or did we do?
I didn't
today?
get anyone, I still am concerned about Mike, that he didn't show.
I
We
Two more
consider it
months.
so- Oh, Mike, stop.
Yeah,
graded
myself just
faces,
because I've got a-
terrible.
yes,
Yes, thank you.
thank you.
Drive safe.
Thank you, Sean.
Good luck.
Thank you,
Have
Sean.
have we adjourned?
No,
No.
Thank you. Great meeting you.
Did Tuesday
next
work?
meeting, we need a next meeting
Tuesday's good
before
for me.
he can even, before Jor's even gonna start,
Well, in
so.
2 weeks, he's gotta do his,
You gonna send us
Excel
the Excel?
list.
The,
Yes, I think we should probably do it together.
Okay.
Maybe you start working on yours and I'll start working on mine and we can somehow combine them.
Okay.
okay,
They're probably gonna have some redundancies, which is
Welcome
fine.
back to a weekly
It's a good
meeting.
sign.
okay.
did you wanna do yours first, Dor, and then we'll meet and we'll addendum
Okay.
it. Well, we
Well,
can do
send-
it,
send
but we
us
may
what-
not give you
Send us
what
what
you
you're
want.
looking for, and
It's
then,
list.
Yeah, I think that's,
and then we'll
Yes.
send it back to you, and then
Yes.
we'll.
The list,
Okay.
yeah.
yes,
Thank you, sir.
Do we want to try to shoot for a meeting in 2 weeks then?
Yes.
Assuming we get,
Yes.
get that to us
Yeah.
next week, everyone has homework for
Yeah.
7 days, and then we reconvene.
17th.
That's holiday week.
it is school
And I think
vacation
there's
week.
another
And that's the
meeting
selectmen,
here
that's,
this month.
because Monday's the holiday that week, so Tuesday.
Should we just do the
Is there already
24th?
two meetings?
Yeah, I'll do the 24th.
Okay, so
Yes.
She went that way, but it's either way, yeah, yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See ya.
You have to carry 24th.
So the 24th,
Does that work for everybody?
Yep.
Works for me.
What day is that?
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Well, I think the Board of Health meets on the,
We can meet upstairs.
okay.
Or they can meet upstairs, or they can, they're a
Well, I
smaller
was
group,
told
they can
we're
meet over
not
there,
Oh, okay.
right? They could meet in that little conference area where,
Yeah,
because I imagine they're not gonna have a
6 p.m.
crowd.
again?
yeah.
right. Yeah, that will.
I mean, they could.
Okay, so you want me to put that on the calendar then?
Please.
Yes, please.
What time?
6 o'clock.
Okay.
Have a nice night.
It's in my calendar.
So we have some numbers to get, departments to get, like actual departments, actual names, and, I wrote it down.
Yes, and then we're gonna each work on the homework.
Who needs to be
of
next
the
to each
list.
other, yep, and the number of people, but I think like, for Mel's area, when we meet, that should probably be ready.
Yeah, that's your homework, is in
Yes.
in your office space.
Yes.
It needs to be together.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's key. Because your interpretation is definitely different from the previous interpretation.
I think if it comes off the elevator upstairs and you have your thing and then you
Right. Well, I think part of it is
really
just
think that'll work. so.
how long we've been in this current configuration and seeing how well it's worked, at least for
Yeah.
the four of
Yep.
us who work there.
Yep,
Right.
Well, if it's working well, let's not,
Right.
yep.
let's not
And
screw with it.
definitely, I agree that the town administrator's office, I think initially we were like, oh, that'll be good. Like, everyone's upstairs, which might have been just like a personality thing. But it's definitely essential to have the whole,
It's easier if they're
Right.
easily accessible to you. You don't have to go upstairs
Right. Well,
or
that's why
to
I
a
asked
different
if-
floor to get to.
yeah, especially if you have to go outside. That's why I asked if the elevator was a fine.
Yeah.
But you're such a small staff.
Right.
Like, communication is so much better when everyone's on, I mean, you see it amongst the smaller departments when you
Yeah.
guys are there, but having the TA's office on the same floor, it's so much easier, you know. They can hear what's going on, they can hear customer problems, like, they can intervene as opposed to, hold on, let me phone.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, just the finance needs to be
Oh,
with the
absolutely.
TA.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely, yep, yep.
They shouldn't
yeah.
be separated by floors or buildings.
And
Yeah.
what I like about the upstairs too is in an absolute crunch, like say we're out of money, we have no options. Upstairs looks like it's pretty well configured now. That theoretically speaking, aside from the counter going across where the TA space currently is,
Wouldn't
you
be
can
much.
stick everything.
Right.
Yeah.
So if we had, like, if we were like, hey, we're out of money, we just gotta make this work for now.
Yeah.
We could do that with the idea of the long counter and putting, you know.
If we
the
get an
town-
elevator.
If you got.
Well, you're gonna have.
Well, the elevator's a must
That's
no
like-
matter
Oh,
what happens,
absolutely.
If you're gonna
That's-
utilize the second floor.
So.
Absolutely, but we can't move them until the elevator is in place.
Yes, but the elevator, you know, if we could find what we were doing and how we were doing it, we could, and theoretically speaking, depending on how much, because I assume that goes in the vet space.
It does, yeah.
So assuming how much space and so forth, and when that comes to time, we could probably even work on the ADA grant, see if we could get that in even before we do anything else. Because then that opens up all upstairs, and then once you get that, it's a super easy move
Right.
for the town offices, and then they're all together,
Right.
and you're done.
Yep.
So, all right.
Okay.
All right, any other comments from anyone? Everyone has their homework?
I think so.
All right?
Motion to
Motion-
adjourn?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.